Virtual guests, and welcome to the Green Room 42. Thank you so much for being here. Here's a few things to note before we get underway this evening. If you'd like to place an order, find one of our servers floating around, or simply turn the lamp on your table off to signal that you would like one to come over. You can do this by tapping the button on the top or turning the knob on the side. Or you can bypass that process entirely by scanning the QR code on your lamp and ordering online. Our gender-neutral restrooms are located out the door you entered, down the hall, and past the elevators you came up on. The use of photography or recording of any kind is strictly encouraged. So tag us at the Green Room 42, give us a follow for early access to all the amazing shows we have here. Take a look around the room at the over 1,500 handwritten names of artists that have performed on our stage. Maybe you can even find yourself. At the Green Room 42, there is no food or beverage minimum. We always have a ticket price lower than a student rush ticket so that our audiences can be as young, artistic, and diverse as the work we put on this stage. While there is no minimum, there is also no maximum. So sit back, drink up, and please welcome to the stage the reason you're all here, Wyatt Sepa-Newell.
Down with love, with flowers and rice and shoes. Down with love, the root of all midnight blues. Down with things that give you that well-known pain. Take that moon, wrap it in cellophane. Down with love, let's liquidate all its friends. Like moon and June and roses and rainbows ends. Down with songs that moan about night and day. Down with love. Take it away, away. Take it away. Take it away. Give it back to the birds and the bees and the Vietnamese. Down with eyes romantic and stupid. Down with sighs, down with Cupid. Brother, let's stuff that dove. Down with love. Down with love, liquidate all its friends. Like moon, June, roses, and rainbows ends. Down with songs that moan about night and day. You are the one, and I don't stand a chance with ghosts like you. Ah, the promised kiss of spring is here. Why does my heart go dancing overhead? On the ceiling near my bed we go now, because I talk to the trees. But they don't listen to me. I tell them, you say either, I say either. You say neither, I say neither. Either, either, neither, neither. Let's call the whole thing off. Take it away, take it away. Give it back to the birds, the B's and the Viennese. Oh, down with eyes, romantic and stupid. Down with sighs, down with Cupid. Brother, let's stuff that dove. Down, down, down I go. Round and around I go. In a spin, hating this spin I mean. What is this thing? What is this thing called love? Hello, people came. Hi. Thank you so much for coming. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Wyatt Sepa-Newell, and I hate Valentine's Day. And I know, false advertising, you're probably wondering, then what the hell are we doing at a show about love right before Valentine's Day? And I cannot give any refunds this evening, but what I can say, as my director describes it tonight as Robbie Rozelle. Everyone give a hand for Robbie. We love Robbie. He describes it as, we'll be listening to our favorite jazz record with a glass of red wine, sitting on the couch, and maybe some crying. So how does that sound? So, I have to give a warning about the show this evening. I will be saying the L word a lot. And I did think about making it a drinking game that we all take a sip when we say love, but I did not want to be held liable for any alcohol poisoning, so we will be refraining from that this evening. But by all means, have as many cocktails as you'd like and tip your servers well. So, I am a child of a therapist. And my therapist mother is actually here this evening. Everyone's give a warm welcome to Linda. I would make you stand up, but I don't know. But before we get into that, I would love to introduce my lovely band. We have Marco Panacea on the bass. We have Mitch Bowers on the drums. We have Boyce Griffith on the woodwinds. And we have my fantastic musical director, Yasuhiko Fukuoka, on the piano. So when I was growing up, I really did not appreciate having a mother as a therapist because it was a lot of, I don't know what I'm feeling, Linda. I'm 6 years old. But as an adult, I am very grateful for the fact that I had her because she instilled so many valuable life lessons and skills and tools to live like an adult. However, it seems like, I hope I'm not alone in this feeling, that when you're in love and you're dating someone, all the emotions get confused and muddled, and it seems like no matter how much work you put into yourself, it all goes out the window. What a day this has been. What a rare mood I'm in. Why, it's almost like being in love. There's a smile on my face for the whole human race. Why, it's almost like being in love. All the music of life seems to be like a bell that is ringing for me. And from the way that I feel when the bell starts to peal, I could swear I was falling. Yes, swear I was falling. It's almost like being in love. Almost like being in love. Almost. Yes, almost like This can't be love because I feel so well. No sobs, no sorrows, no sighs. This can't be love, I get no dizzy spells. My head is not in the skies. My heart does not stand still. Hear it beat. This is too sweet to be love. This can't be love because I feel so well, but still I love to love. Look in your eyes, love to live. Think I'll survive. There's a smile on my face for the whole human race. All the music of life seems to be like a bell that is ringing for me. And from the way that I feel when the bell starts to peal, I could swear I was falling. Yes, swear I was falling. It's almost like being in love. Almost like being in love.
Isn't this band fabulous? Such a treat. So has anyone here ever needed a passport for a date? Just me? Cool. Well, let me tell you about the most unhinged, uncharacteristically Wyatt story to this point I have ever done. So in September of 2022, I decided to take it upon myself to go on a solo trip to Greece. And it was beautiful. I lived my Mamma Mia's fantasy, and you can bet your ass I listened to ABBA every single day I was there. Cher's version of ABBA. And prior to going on to this trip, I had jokingly told a lot of my friends that maybe this is a trip I'm going to meet a future lover on or future husband. But all jokes aside, I really went there with the intent of, I don't know, finding myself. Very eat, pray, love. So I spent 10 days in Greece and see the beauty of it. And on the last day I was there, I was walking back to my hotel, and I passed by a restaurant with an outdoor patio, and there was a very handsome Grecian boy sitting there, and we locked eyes. And as soon as I got back to my hotel, I logged on to Grindr, and how many people are checking their phones right now after that? Mm-hmm. Logged into Grindr, the first message on there was from him, and it said, "I think you just walked past me." And I was like, maybe. And so we just talked a little bit, and we agreed to have cocktails later that evening. And it was lovely, and there was a connection, I thought. And we exchanged phone numbers, and then we went on our merry way. When on foreign shores I am, very truly yours I am, but if inclined to play I am, sweetheart, that's the way I am. When in Spain, for reasons I don't explain, I remain enjoying a brew. Don't deplore my fondness for fun d'adore. You know how a fun d'adore can lead to a few. And baby, with Rome I do as the Romans do. If perchance I'm saying farewell to France,
romance drops in from the blue. Cher amour, I beg of you, please endure my taking a brief detour with somebody new. It's just that when in Rome I do as the Romans do. And though from Italy I lie to you prettily, why think of me bitterly? You know that I'm true. Except now and then in Rome, I get that old yen in Rome. So naturally when in Rome I do as the Romans do. We spoke every day, non-stop for a month. FaceTime, phone calls, texts, pages, faxes, you name it, we really got to know each other. And then he has this wild idea to say, why don't we go to a place we've never been to for a second date? Cut us booking a trip to London. If I write happily, best wishes from Napoli. Don't cable me snappily to tell me we're through. Guess I'm once again in Rome, in somebody's den in Rome. Well, honey bunch, when in Rome, I do as the Romans do. So just disregard the signs and the omens. When in Rome, I do as the Romans do. So we get to London, and things are a little awkward. Because I'm like, what the hell am I doing here? And so we spend the first day together, and it all seems a little normal, and we're having a little fun. And then I didn't see him for the rest of the trip. Yeah. So, yeah. Really bright, Wyatt, I know. So on the second day I was there, I went to go see a show on the West End. And we had agreed we were going to grab a cocktail after the fact. And I left the show and texted him and said, hey, where are you? Where should I meet you? And I get a text verbatim from him. If I wanted you to join me, I'd tell you where I'm at. Thank you. So this is when the years of therapy really kicked in for me, was because, like, I do not deserve that kind of treatment. I can get that for free in New York without having even to leave. So I rushed back to the place we were staying together, got my passport, got my clothes. I can now pack my suitcase in less than 10 minutes. And I found the nearest hotel. And then this boy has the gall to message me at 2 a.m. saying, where are you? Where did you go? Is everything all right? Am I the problem? Am I the drama? The audacity. Goodbye. No use leading without chins. This is where our story ends. Never lovers, ever friends. Goodbye, let our hearts call it a day. But before you walk away, I sincerely want to say, I wish you bluebirds in the spring to give your heart a song to sing, and then a kiss. But more than this, I wish you love. And in July, a lemonade to cool you in some leafy glade. I wish you health and more than wealth. I wish you love. My breaking heart, and I agree that you and I could never ever be. So with my best, my very best, I set you free. I wish you shelter from the storm, a cozy fire to keep you warm. But most of all, when snowflakes fall, I wish you wealth, I wish you health, I wish you love.
What an asshole. Whatever, I went to London, it was fine. So, I believe we all experience 3 different types of love in life. And the first love I believe we experience is young love. And I want us all just to close our eyes for a moment and reminisce about when we ever met someone for the first time and how exciting that was. And I think that's something we sadly lose as we get older, that naivety and youthfulness and excitement of going on a first date and meeting people, new people. When I was a young gay boy growing up in northern Idaho, that's Idaho, not Iowa, that is the Pacific Northwest, not the Midwest. I must differentiate. A lot of Republicans, but they are different. But when I was growing up, I was always yearning to move to a big city, and I have many fond memories of going on first dates with a handsome man and sitting at a cocktail bar and me with my underage self for drinking and had a fake ID. Sorry, Mom. And we'd be sitting and having good conversation, and I'd lean over and put my hand on the table and he put his, and then he touched me. He put his hand in mine, and then he touched me. I felt a sudden tingle when he touched me. A sparkle, a glow. He knew it. It wasn't accidental, no. He knew it. He smiled and seemed to tell me so all through it. He knew it. I know. He's real and the world is alive and shining. I feel such a wonderful drive toward Valentine. He touched me. I simply have to face the fact he touched me. Control myself and try to act as if I remember my name. But he touched me. He touched me, and suddenly nothing is the same, 'cause he touched me. He touched me, and suddenly nothing is the same. Birds do it, bees do it, even educated fleas do it. Let's do it, let's fall in love. In Spain, the best upper sets do it. Lithuanians, and let's do it, let's do it, let's fall in love. The Dutch in old Amsterdam do it, not to mention the Finns. Folks in Siam do it, think of Siamese twins. Some Argentines without means do it. People say in Boston even beans do it. Let's do it, let's fall in love. Electric eels, I might add, do it, though it shocks them, I know. Why ask if shad do it? Waiter, bring me shad roe in shallow shows. English souls do it. Goldfish in the privacy of bowls do it. Let's do it. Let's fall in love. Let's do it. Let's fall in love. So I hope I'm not alone in this thought process, but I feel like when anyone moves to New York, I feel like they have this idea that they're going to meet some lover in some romantic comedy, Nora Ephron, Nancy Meyers-esque way. I mean, I remember before I moved here, one of my thoughts was I'd be jogging through Central Park, probably going the wrong way, and run into some man with gray sweatpants, and we'd fall madly in love. Or I'd be on the subway and I'd be looking across and see a man and we lock eyes and we have a romantic fling. Or I'd be walking across the street and get hit by a car and then I realize he's rich, so I marry him. But none of that happens. The reality is we're all on the apps, and whether it be Bumble, Tinder, Hinge, Unhinged, none of which are sponsoring this evening, we're all on them. And in the gay world, it's even worse. And this is more a TED Talk for the heterosexuals in the audience, but there's this quirky little app called Grindr. And what's so wonderful about Grindr is that you can be scrolling and it's essentially like online shopping, but for dick. And you could be talking to a man and he can show up to your front door within 5 minutes, or you can be talking to someone for weeks on end and then suddenly they ghost you and leave you on red. The sky was blue and high above, the moon was new and so was love. This eager heart of mine is singing, lover, where can you be? You came at last, love had its day. That day has passed, 'cause love's gone away. This aching heart of mine is singing, lover, come back to me. I remember every little thing you used to do. Oh, I'm lonely. Every road I walked along with you. No wonder I am lonely. The sky is blue, the night is cold, the moon is new, but love is old. And while I'm standing here, this heart of mine is singing, lover, come back to me. I remember every little thing you used to do. Oh, I'm lonely. Every road I walked along with you. No wonder I am lonely. The sky is blue, the night is cold, the moon is new, but love is old. And
while I'm standing here, this heart of mine is singing, lover, oh, lover, lover, get yourself here to me now. Uh-oh, the stool's coming out. That can only mean one thing. We're entering the depressing part of the show. So now would be a great time to order another cocktail and buckle up. Okay. So I believe the second love that we experience in life is the love that teaches us the lessons that we need to learn. And sometimes those lessons aren't always fun to learn. If there's one thing I pride myself in, it's that no matter the type of relationship I'm in, I always give my full self. I mean, I'm so committed to my current relationship that I take 2 trains, cross the body water, into another borough. And I'm so happy to be doing so, honey. One of my early relationships I had while living here was a very unhealthy relationship. Wow, a gay cannot sit on a stool correctly. Oh, God. Turn it upside down. No. Depressing. One of my early relationships I had when I was living here was a very unhealthy relationship. And despite the love that we had for each other, it was very toxic. And to be quite frank, when that relationship ended, I was a shell of a human being. And with whatever willpower I had left, I decided to go to therapy and spent a lot of time digging into the soul of Wyatt. And one lesson that I learned was not everyone is going to be ready to accept the love that we're able to give them. And in turn, not everyone is ready or willing to give the love. But one thing I did find that rang true that I always kind of knew about myself was no matter the hardships I face in life, I always choose to lead with love. There are those who can leave love or take it. Love to them is just what they make it. I wish that I were the same, but love is my favorite game. I fall in love too easily. I fall in love too fast. I fall in love too terribly hard for love to ever last. My heart should be well schooled, 'cause I've been fooled in the past. And still I fall in love so easily. I fall in love too fast. Should be well schooled, 'cause
'cause I've been fooled in the past, and still I fall in love so easily. I fall in love too fast. So coming out of that relationship and spending many years in therapy and spending a lot of time with myself and not dating anyone and focusing on myself, I really tried to acquire the skill of being optimistic and looking for the positive in life. And it's easier said than done, and I'm still practicing it to this very day, and being mindful and present and meditating. And what I think is so beautiful about being optimistic and positive in life is that I think we subconsciously start to manifest the things that we want in life. And whether that be in your career or a place to travel or healthier relationships, it all seems to kind of start coming to you. And this is where I believe the third love that we experience in life comes in. And it's when we are fully happy with ourselves, or try to be, and we're content, we're not expecting anything, and suddenly someone comes in the door and meets us where we are and loves us for exactly who we are. Look for the silver lining wherever clouds appear in the blue. Remember, somewhere that sun is shining, and so the right thing to do is make it shine for you. A heart full of joy and sadness will always banish sadness and strife. So always look for the silver lining and try to find the sunny side of life. When it all comes true, just the way you planned. It's funny, but the bells don't ring. It's a quiet thing. When you hold the world in your trembling hands, you'd hear a choir sing, but it's a quiet thing. There are no exploding fireworks. Where's the roaring of the crowd? Maybe it's a strange new atmosphere way up here among the clouds. But I don't hear the drums, I don't hear the band. The sounds, I'm told, such moments bring. Happiness comes in on tiptoe. Well, what do you know? It's a quiet thing, 'a very Well, glad that section's over. I need a cocktail now. God. So when we were writing the show, we compiled a list of about 50 different songs, and as you probably can tell by now, they were mostly ballads. Call me Barbra Streisand. I love a slow song I can act. Is anyone reading her memoir, by the way? All 992 pages and 48 hours of audiobook? Or as I like to call the newest testament, delicious. Took me 2 months to read it. Just finished it. But when we were writing the show, there were 3 songs that stood out, and ironically, they all had a weather theme. And so we compiled it together, and we're calling it the Weather Medley. Very original. And so here we are, the Weather Medley. Please enjoy. Don't know why there's no sun up in the sky. Stormy weather since my man and I ain't together. Keeps raining all the time. Life is bare, gloom and misery everywhere. Stormy weather, just can't get my poor self together. Keeps raining all the time. The time keeps raining all the time. When the sun comes out and the rain stops beating on my window pane, when the sun comes out, there'll be bluebirds round my door, singing like they did before that old storm broke out. And my man walked off, left me in the rain, though he's gone out. If he'll stay away for good, I'd stop living if he should. Love is funny. It's not always peaches, cream, and honey. Just when everything seemed bright and sunny, suddenly the cyclone came. I'll never be the same till that sun comes out and the rain stops beating on my window pane. If my heart holds out, let it rain, let it pour. It may not be long before there's a knocking on my door. Then you know the one I loved walked in. When the sun comes out and the rain stops beating on my window pane, if my heart holds out, let it rain, let it pour. It may not be long before there's a knocking on my door. Then you know the one I loved walked in. When the sun comes on a clear day, rise and look around you. and you'll see you are on a clear day. How it will astound you that the glow of your being outshines every star you feel part of, every mountain, sea, and shore. You can hear from far and near a world you've never heard before. And on that clear day, on that clear day, you can see forever and ever and ever and Thank you so much. Thank you all for coming to my non-therapy session. I feel so much better. I don't know about you. If there's one thing I want to leave you with this evening, aside from Linda knowing as her therapist and her contact card and butt stuff, it's that we live in such an uncertain time right now, and it's a very scary place sometimes. And I think if we all can take a moment in our day to practice the act of self-love, whatever that means to you, whether it be mind, spiritual, body, in order so we can receive the love that we deserve, so in turn, we can then share the love that the world needs. Walked with no one and talked with no one, and I had nothing but shadows. Then one morning you passed, and I brightened at last. Now I greet the day and complete the day with the sun in my heart. All my worries blew away when you taught me how to say, grab your coat and snatch your hat, leave your worries on the doorstep, just direct your feet to the sunny side of the street. Can't you hear that pitter-pat? And that happy tune is your step. Life can be so sweet on the sunny side of the street. I used to walk in the shade with those blues on parade. Now I'm not afraid. I'm a rover and crossed over. If I never had a cent, I'd be rich as Rockefeller. Gold dust at my feet on the sunny side of the street. Thank you so much, Green Room, for having me. Thank you so much for Sheridan on Sound and Lights. Thank you to Marco Panacea, Mitch Bowers, Boyce Griffith, and Yasuhiko Fukuoka. And thank you all so much for coming to my New York City debut. I used to walk in the shade with those blues on parade. So don't be afraid and be a rover and cross over. If I never had a cent, I'd be rich as Rockefeller. Gold dust at my feet on the sunny side, on the sunny side, on the sunny side of the street. Okay, one more. Encore. Everyone just gets up and leaves. Bye. So, I don't know if anyone recognized the song at the top of the show, but it was called Stardust by Hoagie Carmichael. And the reason I chose that song was because it was my grandmother Hope, her favorite song. That's Linda's mom. And sadly, yes, Hope. Sadly, she passed away a few years ago at the age of 96. But on our last time I ever got to see her, I'm not gonna cry. The one thing I remember, and it will stick with me to the end of my days, is it doesn't matter how much money you make in life. It doesn't matter how successful you are, and all these things we put so much pressure on in life to be perfect and to be successful. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that the love that we experience in life and the love that we share and create and spread. And with all this love talk about this evening, I've really failed to go into detail about my own love, and that would be with Peter. You thought I wasn't going to talk about you. How many martinis are you in? Peter has been such a light in my life. And I don't even think he realizes how much light and joy he has brought me. And so thank you, Peter, for stealing my heart and taking good care of it. Lastly, I would just like to leave you with my favorite quote, and ironically, it's a song lyric, and I didn't know that before, but I found out, and it's from the song Nature Boy. And the quote is, "The greatest lesson you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return." And I think I've learned that lesson. Time after time, I tell myself that I'm so lucky to be loving you. So lucky to be the one you run to see in the evening when the day is through. I only know what I know. The passing years will show you've
kept my love so young, so new. And time after time, you'll hear me say that I'm so lucky to be loving you. I only know what I know. The passing years will show. You've kept my love so young, so new. And time after time, you'll hear me